I love this amazing question because it tests you on out-of-the-box thinking. You need to rearrange the glasses with water by only touching one glass. And you need to get from configuration 1 on the top to bottom configuration by only touching one glass. Take a close look to see how you can do it. I'm pretty sure you figured it out, but just in case, I am moving forward to share the solution with you. As I mentioned, you need to think out of the box, and the solution is to take the second glass from the left and pour the water into the second from the end empty glass container. Typical thinking to solve this problem is just to move the glasses, but out-of-the-box thinking is pour the water from one glass to another. Here's an unusual question, but we're starting to see it on the test more and more often. You need to select 3 numbers, which add up to 52, and there are 8 choices to select 3 numbers. You have numbers 7, 24, 33, 5, 9, 11, 17, and number 12 presented for selection. Do you see the answer? Give yourself 10 to 15 seconds. See if you can pause this video to get to the correct solution. I am pretty sure you figured it out, but just in case, I am moving forward to get you to the correct answer. As you might have guessed, the correct numbers are 7, 33, and 12, because 7 plus 33 plus 12 equals 52. Keep in mind that this may not be the only solution. A lot of times, in questions like this, there are other options available. Do you see any other set of numbers that lead to the required result? If you found another possibility, please make sure to post in comments. Here's a rather unexpected question you might frequently see on the test. You need to determine during which period revenue declined, and you're presented with the profit and loss chart that covers periods from 2018 to 2024. On the chart, you see 3 lines representing revenue, expenses, and taxes. And you need to select the final answer out of 4 different choices. Choice A, the period between 2018 and 2020. Choice B, the period between 2019 and 2020. Choice C, the period between 2020 and 2021. And choice D, the period between 2023 and 2024. Give yourself a little bit of time, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the solution. I'm pretty sure that by now you found it, but I'm going to move forward and reveal you my version of the solution anyway. And if you know the better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The way I see it is that the revenue goes down between the period of 2020 and 2021, which is represented by the blue line. In 2020, the revenue was about 9.5 units, and then in 2021, it went down to approximately 8.5 units. All other highlighted periods in the question indicate revenue increases. Did you see it differently? Please make sure to post your answer in comments. And now, here's the question for you to try. You're presented with total company spending, which is equal $800,000, and you need to calculate an approximate benefits expense. In addition to benefits on the chart, you also see payroll, research and development, as well as client entertainment amounts. You are presented with 4 different choices for which you need to do mental calculations. Choice A, $170,000. Choice B, $216,000. Choice C, $296,000. And choice D, $360,000. Do you see the answer? Please pause this video, do mental calculations, and post your answer in comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. If you're trying to improve your English vocabulary, this question might be for you. You need to identify all synonyms to the word accountant. The choices presented to you are carpenter, mason, actuary, teacher, auditor, analyst, bookkeeper, engineer, controller, and treasurer. Give yourself a little bit of time, maybe pause this video, because there could be between 1 and 10 answers. Ready or not, I am going to move forward and share with you my solution, but obviously if you have a better one, please make sure to share in comments. I found 5 similar words. They are actuary, auditor, bookkeeper, controller, and treasurer. I believe these words are similar because they represent financial jobs in the organization. For example, actuary is a person who compiles and analyzes statistics to calculate risks for the organization. Auditor is the person who inspects companies' accounting and finance. Bookkeeper is a person whose job is to record financial affairs of the business. Controller is the person in charge of organization's finances to eliminate abuse and ensure systems of checks and balances. And finally, the treasurer is the person who is appointed to administer or manage financial assets and liabilities of the organization. Do you see any other words I might have missed? Please make sure to share in comments. Here's one of my favorite questions where you need to determine next number in the sequence. You are presented with 4 rectangles. Each rectangle contains letters. There are 4 letters in each rectangle. 3 rectangles contain letters, and you need to determine the letters in the 4th rectangle. What's interesting is that the upper row of the letters is bold, and the lower row of the letters in the rectangles is the regular font. You need to determine item that comes next in the sequence, and you're presented with the 4 different choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can determine the answer. As I mentioned, this is one of my most favorite questions. Let's move forward so I can share the solution with you. To answer this question correctly, you need to know letters of the English alphabet, as well as you need to know a little bit of the math. And my advice to you, always look for patterns, because you would need the pattern to solve this question. So let's first look at the pattern. As you might have guessed, letters of the English alphabet are incremented here by the certain number. Increment number is different for each section of the rectangle. And the decryption key, if you're familiar with encryption and decryption, is 1, 2, 3, and 7. Let's look into details. Let's start with the upper left corner of the rectangle and look at the existing sequence. You see that the letters are B, C, D, and they match to English alphabet 1 to 1. So the next letter would be E. But if you look at the set of answers, choices A, B, and C all have letter E in the upper left corner. Now let's look at the upper right corner of the rectangles. And then you see that in the main sequence, the letters are I, K, and M. And if you know English alphabet, H, I, J, which is missing K, L, next is M, and O, which means that the increment is 2, which matches the second number in our decryption key. If we look at the answer, we already know that the correct choice here is choice A, because the upper row letters are E and O only in this choice. But the question is done in such way that you can continue the logic and determine decryption key for the bottom row as well. If you're interested, bottom left corner, we have 3 number differences in the second row, and the correct choice here would be choice B. And in the bottom right corner, there is a 7 number increment, and the correct letter choice here would be choice V. So as I already mentioned, the correct choice here is choice A. Hopefully you've learned something, and now not just know how to answer similar problems on the test, but also learned about simple encryption and decryption logic you can use with the letters of the alphabet. Here's the practice problem for you. The day after tomorrow is 4 days before Monday. What day is it today? You have 4 different choices. Choice A, Sunday. Choice B, Monday. Choice C, Friday. Choice D, Saturday. Feel free to pause this video to see if you can come up with the solution. I would like to give you a hint. The best way to solve these types of problems is using reverse calculations. So do you see the answer? Give yourself 10 to 15 seconds to see if you can come up with the solution. Did you figure out the answer? Make sure to post your answer as well as your rationale for solving this problem in the comment section of this video. Thanks for participating and good luck! One of the very hard challenges is forming the words using certain number of letters of the English alphabet. In this question, you're presented with 10 letters, and you need to form the word using all the letters only once. The letters are N, V, A, O, I, T, and T, I, O, M. Do you see the word here? Give yourself a little bit of time, maybe 20 to 30 seconds. Hopefully you solved it, because I am moving forward and revealing the solution. As you might have guessed, the word is motivation. Let me spell it for you. M-O-T-I-V-A-T-I-O-N. And the definition of the motivation is that motivation is a reason person acts or behave in particular way. It is also a process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behaviors. Believe it or not, but doing more practice exercises helps you get better with the skill of forming the word. For example, if you start with the bottom right corner, you can form the word motivation. You see M-O, and then you swap T-I, and then if you continue, you go V-A-T-I-O-N. You can solve these types of challenges better if you do more crosswords and puzzles. Here's an interesting question where you need to correctly count the number of squares on a picture. Take a close look and select from one of the following choices. Choice A, 7 squares. Choice B, 8 squares. Choice C, 9 squares. And choice C, 12 squares. Make sure to count inside and outside squares to get to the correct solution. Let me show you the final answer. I counted 7 squares in the picture. Obviously, if you have a different answer, please make sure to post your solution in comments. Here are all the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do you have a different number? I'm looking forward to your response if you counted more or less squares. Here's the question for you to practice your skills. If you know the answer, please make sure to post it in comments so I can give you my feedback. You need to form the word using all the letters only once, and you're presented with 9 letters. Letters are T, F, A, L, C, U, P, M, I. Do you see the word? This is not a trivial task because there are 9 letters, but this is a very frequently used word from the English alphabet. Hope you found the answer. Please make sure to post it in comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here is the frequent test problem where you need to determine the age of the family members. Today, a father is 3 times as old as his son. After 15 years, the father will be twice as old as his son. What is the father's present age? And you have 4 different choices. Choice A, 40 years. Choice B, 45 years. Choice C, 50 years. And choice D, 55 years. Do you see the answer? Give yourself a little bit of time to see if you can come up with the solution. One of the ways to solve this problem is to take the number from the solution and see if it will work the math. But instead of doing that, we're going to build the expression and calculate the father's present age. In the first step, we're going to introduce 2 variables. Variable x will represent age of the son today, and variable y will represent father's age today. So our first formula is 3x equals y, which indicates that today father is 3 times older than his son. After 15 years, our expression will be different. The new expression will be y equals 2x plus 15. Because in both cases y is the same, we can build a new expression 3x equals 2x plus 15. Once we simplify, 3x minus 2x will equal 15. And after completing the calculations, x will be equal 15 and y will be equal 45. Based on this, today's age of the son is 15 years old, which means that after 15 years, son will be 30 years old and father will be 60 years old. Hopefully you've nailed this question and now know how to answer similar age problems on the test. Here's a tricky problem that you might find challenging to solve. You're presented with the pyramid. Top of the pyramid starts with the missing number that you need to calculate. If you go down, second row contains numbers 29 and 34. Next row contains numbers 11, 15, and 16. Following row has numbers 4, 5, 8, and 6. And then the last row has numbers 2, 1, 3, 4, and 1. You need to calculate the missing number, which is in the top row. And you have 4 different choices. Choice A, 59. Choice B, 63. Choice C, 67. And then choice D, 73. Give yourself a little bit of time, maybe 10 to 15 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, to see if you can answer this question. Did you solve it? Was it hard for you? Let's move forward and I'll share with you my solution. But obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post it in comments. Tricky problem, don't you think so? But the solution to this challenge is really simple. To calculate it correctly, you need to move from the bottom to the top. And if you look closely at the pyramid, you will notice that the higher row is calculated as the sum of bottom values plus the increment. And increment also increases with each row by 1. Let me demonstrate. If we look at the numbers in the bottom left corner of the pyramid, you see numbers 2 and 1. Sum of 2 and 1 is 3, but then we add the value of the increment, which is 1, and the calculated value is 4. Let's continue with the sequence. Next set of numbers is 4 and 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. And then we need to add the value of the increment, which also increased by 1. So now instead of being plus 1, the increment is plus 2. 4 plus 5 plus 2 equals 11. Based on this information, the missing value can be calculated as 29 plus 34 plus the value of the increment, which would be plus 4, which equals 63 plus 4, which equals to 67. So the correct choice here is choice C, 67. Hopefully you've nailed this question on your own and now know how to answer similar problems in the test. Thanks for watching. If you liked the content, please give us a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for all your endorsement, support, and patronage. For additional helpful information, please make sure to check out links in the description. For detailed list of available resources, I encourage you to check out resources page on our website, howtoanalyzedata.net/resources. If you know someone who would benefit from this content, please consider sharing the link. Please leave the feedback, corrections, or suggestions in comments. And all the best on your journey. I'll see you in my next video.